Hi guys, I thought I would record again this very quick briefing about the coursework guidelines. So I had a few days ago, I had a webinar with the students about the coursework. There were quite a lot of questions there, mainly revolving around the format of the coursework, the usual stuff. So I just want to share with you what I've told them. So overall, we are sticking to Word submission. So we do require students to submit the work in Word. They could use Excel as a way of building their model, and then they can copy and paste their models into Word. Is no need for them to include the formulas of Excel into Word. What I've told them is that, for example, in a case of a net present value, this is a sufficient way of presenting their workings. So really, if they present a table with their financial model information, this is self-explanatory as to what they have been doing. They could add some brief explanations before each model. So for instance, how net present value is calculated overall based on the book and the theory, and then they could flag some additional information about the workings in each of the columns, for instance. So the net cash flows is the sum of all inflows and outflows, and so on and so forth. So there's no need for them to go on and write very explicitly every single step of the calculation, as long as they provide a table. They should not be using the embedded functions in Excel, so they could use formulas but not functions. So formulas is automating the calculations, which is fine, but not functions. So they should not be using the embedded function to calculate net present value and IRR. Ideally, we want these main tables to be in the main body of the report and not everything in the appendix. I get the point that sometimes it doesn't look nice. If the model distorts the presentation of the report, then it's fine for them to include that in the appendix. But the investment appraisal is a core aspect of the report. So let's say, as the part of the board, we would expect to see some of the numbers and the steps to derive these numbers in the main body of the report. So not simply saying, oh, the net present value was X and the IRR is Y. Ideally, we would like to see the table inside the main body of the report. It doesn't make a huge difference, but just for the sake of consistency. Other things around questions for the coursework were in relation to how many references they should be using and all that. Overall, our approach is that quantity is not the focus there. It's going to be about mostly quality, which is to what extent they have utilized each of the references inside their text. So it's not about listing, say, 30 references when these references do not appear or are not extensively used in text. And B is also the aspect of what kind of references these are. So we're looking for good quality resources in the form of textbooks and academic journal articles. I have provided them with an example, the one on the screen. I haven't sent out the Excel spreadsheet of that. Simply, I've gone through in the video, in the webinar that is recorded on a one product investment appraisal example, very simple, not fully aligned with the coursework scenario, but pretty much it tackles the main things they need to be aware of, and giving them some information about how they could structure their response. We are not fixed in the way that the models are presented, so either vertical or horizontal is fine, so we're not fixed on that. Some questions about rounding up. My advice to students is that when it comes to the product of a calculation, like say the present value, they could round up to no decimal points. But when it comes to the ingredients of a calculation, so let's say they have a selling price, they should never round up. So, but that's a minor thing. Also, and I think that is something for us to bear in mind, students could use either the discount table to generate the discount factors, or they could calculate the discount factor in Excel. Obviously, if they do the latter, they would get a more precise net present value, because there is a definite number of decimal points behind this, unless they use the round function in Excel. So we should expect a difference between the net present value of students who have used the discount factor with 3 fixed decimal points coming from the table, and the net present value of the students who have used the Excel to calculate the discount factor, and therefore they have an indefinite number of decimal points. But that is mainly for us to discuss as part of the grading approach that is going to be another video that I'm going to send you later on about this one, after, probably just before the submission. One more thing, in the class I've sent an announcement. You will see that I've created a Padlet, which is like a workspace accessible via a link where students can post questions about the coursework, and I have answered most of them, well, all of them up until the point of the webinar. There might have been some new ones, so that is a good place to go and look for the kind of answers I've been giving to students, in case you receive some questions which are similar, so we have a consistent way of responding. All right, so that's all. Sorry for going on with this video, but I think it would be good to update you on that. Let me know if you have any more questions around the different parts of the coursework. All right, cheers, thanks.